John, if you had to bring up probably one of the most like weird, annoying hobbies that like a white cis man can do, what would it be?
Ooh.
And not ultimate frisbee.
Shit. Oh, weird hobbies. I have no idea.
So, unfortunately, I have a brain disease that tells me, hey, you should just buy dumb shit that you're never gonna use. Thankfully, I wrestle this demon every day and have become very strong and have pinned it down and said, no, bitch, I will not buy it. The it in behind the buy changes every week. And this week, the it is, modular synth patches.
Modular synth patches.
So, like, okay, you think of a synthesizer, you think of a keyboard, right?
Yeah.
And on that keyboard, there's like, it'll be like, oh, it's an 88 key keyboard. It has 120 sounds on it, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm looking at it.
So that's not how it used to be in the before times. It used to be that there'd be like modules that did very specific things, and you could change the sound that you were using in very different ways and like sculpt a sound. And on top of that, you could take that sound that you made, treat it as just an electric signal, and then use it to like randomize other sounds or create other sounds, make a beat, etc., 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 until you make a whole fucking song just with these, I would say, like, I don't know, like 5-inch by 5-inch little boxes of knobs. You got like 20 of them or something, and you've got like
the plugs.
The plugs, the
yeah,
old
the little
like
Moog
telephone
module. Like,
yes, exactly.
Giovanni
Moog module
Giorno
was, like,
says
first.
in my favorite Daft Punk song, the Moog module. Yeah, okay. This sounds cool already. I'm in.
See, it
I'm
sounds
with
cool,
the demon.
but like the people that I have seen who do this are either like 1 out of 10 are really chill. The rest are insufferable and sex perverts.
Mm.
And not in an acceptable way.
Yeah. In the
other
bad
thing,
way.
In the bad way. The other thing that like gets me about this is that it's horrendously expensive. I'm moving internationally in less than a month. I do not have this money. Like the housing for the modules, that's several $100s, as is. Each module, $100 to $200, depending on what they do, variety, etc., simplicity, complexity.
Cool. Yeah, I see one here that's like 300.
Yeah. And like, ideally, you would have like 5 of those. At first, I was like, fuck me, I'm never gonna do this. I'm practicing right now with like a free like app thing on the computer. It's like VCV Rack. It just simulates a whole like rack like this. So it's a really easy way to start out, to just fucking move buttons around. What does this do? Like, after some like minimal research as to what the basic module types are, it's like really good to get your hands on that for fucking free.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like, those fancy ass like Korg synthesizers, like the professional ones, that's easily like $2,000, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm building my own synthesizer that does whatever I want for somewhat less of $2,000, it's kind of the same as like building your own PC. Though you can DIY like modules by themselves. Like, you can solder the components down and shit. I do not have the brain for that, but maybe one day.
One day.
I bring this all up because what is usually suggested for your like first module is to figure out which what types of modules are necessities for you, what are your wants, what are your needs, etc. I have a want that has slowly become a need, and that is, if you could please look up the Bleep Bloop 2000 by After Later Audio.
Bleep Bloop 2000?
2000. After Later Audio.
Oh no. The Bleep Bloop 2000.
Listener, I encourage you to look this up as well. You should be met by the image of a man with dyed hair and a Miami Vice mustache with a gold chain.
And 2 of the knobs are his nipples.
Correct. Now, I will read you... So the description, the tagline of this module is time to splarf. And
oh no.
I will read you the names of the knobs from left to right. Darf, Clonk, Persh, Sumsis, Olbs.
Those sound like fucking those sound like comic or manga like onomatopoeias.
It's $175.
Like Johnny Joestar riding on his horse, and then as his horse hooves are running, just clonk, clonk, clonk.
He punches someone, Persh.
Yeah. He uses his spin, Darf. This is ridiculous. So ridiculous, in fact, that I approve. This looks awesome.
Like, before I even get housing for it, I'm definitely considering just getting it.
It looks super cool. This hobby seems super cool.
It definitely does, and like, it's used more nowadays to generate ambient music, and that's not necessarily what everyone like. I don't like ambient music, but I do enjoy like to me, and this seems very like reductive and like maybe even like in some way kind of like I'm patronizing the hobby, but like to me this is a toy, a very cool toy.
Yeah, sick toy, brother. Hell yeah. I'm about it. If toys were this cool back then. Nah, I'm just kidding. I had some pretty cool toys, but none of them as cool as Darf or Simses.
Exactly. None of them with those knobs.
Yeah.
Without those knobs, nuh-uh. No way, no how.
This is super sick. Now I'm just looking at like other modular stuff.
So, if you're somewhat interested, I would suggest there's a YouTuber, Andrew Huang, who has like very intelligible beginner series that like at least they worked for me and everything like that. I saw some others that got a little too heady, where like it was using like words that I like understood because we're like, oh, you can like go into like microtonal range and like it's really easy to produce polyphonics or like polyrhythms as well. And it's like, those aren't normal words. You're lucky I understand, but like I need to go a step lower to make sure I understand. So Andrew Huang was good, and he suggested the VCV rack tool that I'm using on my computer to just mess around, and he suggested a website called Modular Grid that is basically like PC part picker but for these modular synths.
Oh, that's cool, dude. That we're gonna become like the next big like this is a synth music podcast now.
We're becoming Daft Punk.
Yeah, we're gonna pick back up the helmets where our heroes left off. It's literally the first trailer for Star Wars episode 7, where Kylo Ren's like, I will finish what you started, and it shows like Darth Vader's helmet. Like,
someone needs to do it, and it needs to be us.
can you imagine? Like, well, But we're not not yet. We're not a synthwave podcast. We're Paramecia Fancast, a One Piece fancast where we review the latest chapter of One Piece and have different One Piece related discussions every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And just, can you imagine if like Daft Punk? I mean, okay, their identities were revealed. Like, you know, it wasn't a secret who they were, but they just didn't like take off the helmets. But dude, can you imagine if like somebody just came back, like another group just came up as Daft Punk, was like, yeah, like we're back, and it's like, what?
Dude, it should be normalized to be like to pass down these things. Like, of course, no one can replace Daft Punk. Like that's just how art is. Like, it's not. It'll be a simulacrum, or it'll be like a soul successor, but it'll never be the same thing.
Yeah,
that's just art. But like Maximum the Hormone, the Japanese band that did the Death Note opening,
oh shit! They also did the Frieza song, right?
They did, yes.
They
seem to be like setting up like successor in some way.
That's actually super sick. Like,
dude, it really is, because it gives on one hand, it gives the chance to like bring up unheard voices, to like supply the same niche. Like our friend Jeremy, Ska2 Network, they do a lot of work to be like, hey, ska is not just 3 bands, here's all these like 2020 releases. Like, it seems antithetical in most cases, because our understanding of music industry is like competition, but we should refuse that reading of competition and instead come up together solidly as a genre. Like, I'm about that shit. We need more of that.
Hell yeah.
But you know what else we need?
What do we need?
Some damn One Piece. Oops.
We need Nami's gamer headset and gunner glasses.
Dude, like, okay.
I
great that they're gamers.
Want Nami's headset.
Dude, the fucking cat girl shit, like, man, there was that fan art of like of Nami as like a Twitch streamer.
Oh, and like the admirals have like the PogChamp face.
Yes, Bolsonaro. Fuck, yeah. That's the Brazilian private.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's wait, Bolsonaro.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, yes, the 3 admirals. Kizaru, Aokiji, and Bolsonaro.
His name's like something between Bolsonaro and Tortellini. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Borsalino,
yeah. Oh, so good.
Okay. What I was saying is that like this harkens to that in like a good way. That's good memories.
I love that it's her and Usopp playing
the
game, and everyone else is just players in their game.
The only person I could see being maybe equally as much of a gamer as these two is Chopper, simply by virtue of him being a literal child.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I could see all of them, but I like it fitting that the 2 like best friends of the crew. I love it. It's will say
good.
I had spoken to Franz before recording, while we were just like doing our pre-show catching up chatting, and I saw this color story and I was like, oh, it's so cool. Like, Luffy is Ken, this is sick. You got Donkey Kong. I'm assuming Sanji's supposed to be like an Apex character, because Apex is like huge, like really
something
popular.
Something like that. Or like just gun guy.
Yeah, gun guy. He's supposed to be Master Chief.
Jinbei is Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Jinbei is Chris Pratt. Zoro is Zelda. You know the classics. And then I told Franz I saw Nico Robin as Morrigan from Darkstalkers, and I got so so enraged because I had to search up the patch notes from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 coming from vanilla Marvel vs. Capcom 3 to make sure that my anger was not misplaced, and it was not. I am justified to this day at the complete the you can just take a character and just be like, hey, what if we just make her broken? Or not broken, but like, what if we just made her like very oppressive, like in an instant? And it's wild, folks. They if you don't know anything, search up Ultimate Marvel 3 Morrigan, and you'll see exactly what she does. She can like cancel her fireballs in such a way that she can shoot them faster than any other character can shoot fireballs, and she's also in the air, so like you can't catch her.
The only character like arguably like at an objective sense more broken was Zero.
Yeah, and Zero's broken in every game he's in, so it's look, I say all this because I'm enraged, like how could they do that? But also if you told me, yo, like, does Marvel vs. Capcom 3 sucks, like I'd punch you. Like, don't ever say that to my face.
Oh,
but yeah, seeing that brought back good/bad memories, and I loved it.
It's mostly bad.
Yeah, mostly bad, mostly PTSD being on the defending side of that. And then some good memories when I decided to pick up Morgan, and I was like, hey, it's actually not as hard as I thought to do this. And then I became the villain.
Exactly. The you live long, you either die here or live long enough to become the villain.
Yep.
That's John literally always in every fighting game.
Yeah, man.
He has transparently been, I'll just pick a top tier.
I used to be the not top tier picky guy. I used to be like, man, I'm just gonna pick the character that looks cool. And after a couple of releases of the cool looking character being top tier, and then me realizing, oh, the reason why I think they're cool is because when I watch them, they have all these options, and they're like, that's cool. And then more options equals top tier. So it's just sort of been, okay, like, I'll just pick the best character. Like, I have no shame.
You should.
I really should. Getting into it. We go inside the castle to CP0. We start with CP0, and this is like the start of this chapter. The first 2 pages, I knew. I was like, oh, this is like, okay. So like the hunch we've all kind of had. Okay, so it's happening. And it says like, it starts off with CP0 like, do you think I'm lying? And the person on the other end's like, I'm not saying that. There's a second dragon here, one that's not Kaido. We all saw it. That must be the devil fruit that Vegapunk created. It was flying with Straw Hat Luffy, meaning the dragon is an enemy of Kaido. And then somebody on the other end, sounds good to me. We want these pirates to destroy each other. Yeah, so why did you call me? We have orders from above. On the freak chance that Kaido actually loses, the nation of Wano, unaffiliated with the world government, will be placed under the government's direct control. The ships are heading to Wano already, so does it seem possible to you?
Dude, I did not expect this. This was from fucking left field.
I'm so hype. The voices continue. I'll finish the scene and then we could talk a little bit about this, because in the end, what we do isn't any different from the pirates. Start of the battle, 30,000 versus 5,400. Now, 12,000 versus 8,000. It's a fascinating battle, I'll admit. But I just can't envision Kaido actually beaten. And then we see who the other person CP0's talking to on the phone, and it says, I didn't think so. I'll wait for your report. There's one more order about a member of the Straw Hat crew, and you can see Kaku asleep and Stussy there, and you're like, uh-oh. Rob Lucci, bring back Nico Robin. Oh, no.
Dude, like, shit just can't get fucking worse, can it?
First off, we've been through this. Rob Lucci, look, Reyes in our Discord, I'm sorry. I know you love Rob Lucci, and I know you think you can change him, but I know another man who can change him by putting a boot in his fucking throat, and that's my dog Sanji, which we'll get to at the end. Look, in Stampede, Sanji was able to hold off Rob Lucci solo by himself. And I know the Stampede's not canon. Yeah, I know, but
It also got off screen, which fucking sucks.
yeah, but we'll get to that at the end of the chapter. But
so one thing I want to
fucking
bring up,
wild. Yeah, go ahead, because it's so good.
like, this is completely like fucking. I don't know how intended it is. I don't know like what Oda was like really thinking of, but this to me is so similar to just like what is referred to as like the black ships off of like Edo Bay. He Oda has taken one of the most like Japan and the US's most like integral like international policy moments and like brought it into this. Like it reads exactly like that. So Americans might understand the concept of like big stick diplomacy if you learned about Teddy Roosevelt. That's what his whole thing. The reason we fucking conquered all of like the Caribbean is because Teddy Roosevelt was like, the quote is "speak softly, carry a big stick," but it wasn't really speaking softly. It was just him beating people with sticks. But this isn't like Teddy Roosevelt is like quoted with this quote, but this mentality goes back further back in U.S. history. So the black ships off Edo Bay was Matthew Perry, Commodore Matthew Perry was
not Matthew Perry from the hit television sitcom Friends.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize. Yes, no, not Matthew Perry from Friends. He was like some hero of the Mexican-American War or something like that. But President Fillmore was like, hey, like, we need trade partners, especially in Asia. We need, like, foots in doors and this and that. Like, Europe has too much power in Asia. We also need that power in Asia. So he told Commodore Perry to go to Japan, come up with these, like, coal-powered boats spewing, like, black tar clouds that none of these people had seen before. And then Perry was basically like, knock knock, open up, I'm coming back in a year. If I come back and you're not ready to do trade, you're gonna get fucked. We're just gonna fuck you up. And so that is paralleled here in like the first few pages, because the world government is doing literally that. Wano has been closed for centuries, as was Japan at the time. And now they're coming in just being like, oops, there's a power vacuum. We're here. Fuck you.
And, the parallel, it is there. Shoutouts to Zeta Phantom in our Discord. Because they also posted about they posted podcast spoilers before the podcast came out because we knew we were going to talk about this. But, so good. But this is so good. It's this the world's government, and you think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, like it's obviously a parallel of that. Like, of course, because the world government's been dealing with Wano like underground, like using CP0 before all that.
Yeah.
Like we saw them with Orochi, and they're like, Orochi and Kaido were selling them weapons. And in exchange for the weapons, like he was getting other stuff, but then he's like, oh, I want Vegapunk here. Like, bring me Vegapunk. So not only is Vegapunk gonna be here, but like the Navy is coming. Dude, this puts everything into perspective. This is the war the war that was like previewed, like kind of like foreshadowed.
Yes.
By the narrator at the end of Dressrosa. Like, it shows the Grand Fleet, like whatever, and it's like, oh, and little did any of them know at this moment, but like they would be part of the greatest war that this world has ever seen. And a lot of people took that as like, oh, they're going to be part of like the final war at the end. I'm like 99% sure it's going to be this. Like,
For sure, yeah.
because there's no, okay, like Kaido goes down, the country is like opened, you know, they win, quote unquote. And now when they're all battered and beaten, like everybody, now the Navy's going to come in and try to fight them. And so I'm thinking that not the fight with Kaido, but this fight afterwards, this might be the fight where like all of the supernova like come together and make their stand.
It's gotta be that.
I'm hoping.
Like,
I really want it to be the case. Like I feel like Oda introduces all of them, and there's no way that he's not gonna have a scene. Not exactly like Stampede, but like seeing them all fighting on the same side in Stampede was so cool, and I would love to see that in like the actual story. And I feel like all of them are sort of like they're basically headed towards the same place almost. There's only like two people that I can't really account for. Like,
dude, even the Yonko are not likely, but it is possible for them to
oh yeah,
join in this fight, because the world government is like quite seriously the only serious like common enemy of everyone around here.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's gonna be amazing. I want to see how Oda introduces, if that's what's going to happen, which I'm like, at this point, I think it's the Grand Fleet's coming to help with this, but I just want to see how he gets them from here. I'm hoping that it's a sort of thing as like, oh, when we saw Luffy like fighting Kaido and like losing and stuff, like our Viver cards were like going crazy, so we decided to come.
It would be really cool if that was the case. I don't necessarily see any other large-scale possibility of why everyone and their mother would just, like, show up, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's got to be something like that. But either way, because this is also, like, the Navy's already on their way, which means they've probably brought Vegapunk with them. And with all the talk about Momo's fruit, I mean, they even mention it here, like, oh, it's the devil fruit that Vegapunk created. Like, it has to be that one, the dragon. Like, I feel like by the end of this, especially with all the stuff with Sanji and Queen, like, and Queen knowing Vegapunk, like, I'm pretty sure that we're getting Vegapunk at some point in this arc, which is going to be super cool.
Dude, there's also so many things.
Yeah, also this arc
up.
is like we're still in Act 3, and there's going to be way more acts. Like, this is not ending after Kaido's defeat, like the Wano saga.
No. Like it maybe Wano will in some way like end, but it will be just a direct jump into whatever this grand altercation will be.
Yeah, the battle for Wano. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
God, absolutely insane. This Nico Robin thing, I do think, like, I've seen a lot of people, some people on our Discord as well, but I've seen a lot of people like, like, you know, like I get it. Like, in the world, she is important to, you know, she's the only person that can read the poneglyphs.
Yeah.
Asterisk. So like they're still after her, but I feel like this sort of thing of like, oh, this harping on them hunting down Nico Robin, like, because he says, no matter which way this battle goes, that woman's existence is key to the forces of piracy. And they're like, oh, it will be done. Like, we'll bring her back. I feel like they've been threatening that, like, oh, Nico Robin's in danger, like in Zou. But I feel like with the reveal of Odin's logbook, something that the world government would have no idea even exists.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this whole thing is kind of just a moot point. Well, that's the way I kind of see it. Like,
if it were to get published, it would be more catastrophic than Gold Roger's last words at the fucking gallows.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's absolutely wild. And there's no way that there's two characters that know of its existence and have read it fully, and, like, you know, nothing's gonna be done with that. Like, come on.
The other thing is, like, I do hope that Robin will not get captured, because to go through those motions again, I will agree with, like, a lot of the people saying that, like, it's been done un- unless there's a way that like we're seeing that it can be done differently, like
Yeah.
I don't see the point of like going through those motions again. But like there is some aspect of like, oh, it's at least in the world government trying to go for Nico Robin again. It's kind of like George Lucas. I watched a documentary about the production of the Phantom Menace. Really, really
Yes.
worth watching. It's on the official Star Wars YouTube channel. But he was like talking about how like a lot of decisions are echoes of like the first trilogy, and stuff like that can be interesting. George Lucas isn't that good of a writer, so in his hands, you know,
Yeah.
no matter how many times he bats, he will miss quite a bit.
The execution was poor, but the
Right.
idea itself is like it can work. I can see it working, and I can see it be. I could see it be like being done in a cool way. What that way is, I have no idea, but I can see like Oda figuring out a way for that sort of thing to be done.
Yeah. Like, I don't want this to happen, but if it were to happen, I have some degree of trust that Oda just won't have a, oh, go rescue the princess in the castle kind of whole shebang again.
Also, like, you know, the Straw Hats are so strong now. Like,
yeah.
like
Robin herself too.
Look, yeah, like Robin herself, I'm not like, okay, if Luffy and Rob Lucci fought again, that is like a 10-0 matchup in Luffy's favor. There is zero way. I do not believe that Rob Lucci could even touch Luffy at this point. Like, Luffy has like almost like mastered Gear 4, and he's going head to head with Kaido, clashing with Supreme King Haki, splitting the sky in half. Like, there is no way that Rob Lucci, they would have to, I don't know, they would have to Deus Ex Machina Rob Lucci to the ends of the earth and back. Be like, oh, he has like a special Conqueror's Haki that like negates, like there's no way. There's no way.
It would be a 9-1 matchup if there's sea stone cuffs on Luffy.
Yeah.
Like Luffy has grown so much as a protagonist, though.
Even
like,
all the other Straw Hats as well. Like, there's
just
like
no shot.
We saw what Robin and Brooke were capable of. Frankie too. Robin has Zeus now. Like or Nami has Zeus now.
Does.
Yeah, I'm looking at Robin at the bottom of this page.
Dude,
but like
Chopper can take him. I don't know how much I actually believe that, but
Chopper can take, or Chopper solos Rob Lucci. Oh god. Yo, I'm gonna like legit lean all the way into that and just keep posting that on Twitter and see how many people get mad at me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, the best way to fucking promote the podcast and destroy our Discord server.
Oh god. But no, like we should there's like two more things pretty much that happen in this two more scenes that we go to. Onigashima, we cut to Onigashima where Momo is, and there's only 5 minutes left until they're directly over the flower capital. And basically Momo is like, oh, like, Yamato, don't leave me on my own. And Yamato, he's like, you can do it, like, you have to. And Momo's just struggling to summon like the flame clouds, and he's like crying because he doesn't know how to do it, and he's really trying because he understands the weight of, you know, what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yamato is like, oh, listen closely, Momo. I'm going to head back to the Skull Dome right now to keep the damage to a minimum in the case of absolute disaster. The massive armory beneath the Skull Dome contains countless explosives. If I don't do something about them, the worst case scenario could be dozens of times more destructive. And Yamato just leaves, and he's running in like his fox form.
It's the first time we see the full fox, right?
Yeah, like not the hybrid form, like the actual like full form. And he's running, and he's like, oh, I know you can do it, Momonosuke. Like, you gotta hang in there. And just like,
hear me.
I love their dynamic.
Hear me out real quick. You know how we could take care of the world government?
Age of Ultroning them.
Yeah. Even if they're at sea, that's gonna fuck them up.
Momo summons the clouds, moves Onigashima, becomes war criminal.
All at 8 years old,
Yeah,
still
all at 8
mentally.
years old.
Like, okay, hear me out. Onigashima falls. It doesn't blow up because Yamato's doing this shit, but it falls nonetheless. Wano is like completely elevated because you have to enter through the fucking waterfalls, right?
Yeah.
Onigashima falling outside onto the ocean would create a veritable tsunami. Wano is safe from the tsunami because it's high the fuck up, but the world government is not. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My brain is very big. It actually hurts.
Franz needs a wheelbarrow to carry that brain.
The fucking like repulsor lift, like my brain is the chair. Those Wojak memes.
Oh yes. But yeah, I would like Age of Ultron on the Navy. It won't happen, but also maybe like where are they gonna put Onigashima? Like, are they just gonna put it back in the water?
The possibilities are endless.
Olive Garden, when you hear your family, never-ending possibilities. But then we get to the final section of the chapter, and not just because I'm a fanboy, but my favorite section of this chapter.
Dude, okay, this was like chef kiss gag manga.
This was like, I told Franz before we recorded, I was telling them, One Piece, like, so there's a gag coming up that made me like, I was tearing up crying. Like that's how stupid and funny it was. And there's like One Piece just has moments like this. Oda is so good at writing these gags that like the most recent one I can think of that happened like that was the Kinemon like misreading the thing and everyone's like, oh, you're a genius, and when it turns to his face he's like, oh, that was that word, huh? But yeah, this one takes the cake. It's so good.
It's like the best gag we've seen in One Piece in a while. We open up with Sanji and Queen going at it, still the performance floor. Sanji's kicking at him. Oh, flying pan. Oh, he's so heavy. And Queen's like dogging him about the germa suit, saying that he wants to see it. Show it to me. I know you used that battle suit against King earlier. It made you disappear. That was Judge's science at work, wasn't it? And the whole time, like, Sanji's just like having a bit of a crisis in that his body doesn't feel right.
He's getting, and mind you, like they kind of tease it in the panel before, like he hits the ground and you hear like crunch, like he like obviously is like he's getting tossed around by Queen, and he's just getting up like it's nothing, and he's like something's definitely off with my body, like
like he's going through it, but like he's just brushing all of these things aside and just mostly bothered by the words that Queen is saying.
Yeah.
Like,
now put on that suit, Vinsmoke, and I told you not to call me that. You don't know the first thing about my family situation. Scratch that. They're not my family at all. I'm not wearing it.
I love it. Like, Sanji is very true to his convictions. This isn't him being a tsundere or anything.
Yeah.
But it's good. I love it.
Great I even love, Oda. Like, it harkens back to, like, when he was crying after he found Luffy and fed him, and he's like I don't consider them my family. Like, I hate them. They're horrible people, but like I can't not help them. And like even here, like, you know, he somewhat considers them his family still. Like very obviously, he doesn't like what they do, but like he's like, he's just grappling with the like, no, Vince, like I'm not them. Like the stuff that they've done is not me. Like, but Reiju's cool. We can keep her. But I like, you don't know the first thing about my family situation. Actually, scratch that. They're not even my family at all.
It's so good. Like, fuck it. It's so good.
Yeah. But
Queen fires off like a coffee beam, apparently. And Sanji gets at him, kicks him, Diable Jamble, bien cut, grill shot. And like, Queen's being pushed back. He goes full dino. He's been hybrid this whole time. He goes full dino and stands up. And he's like being like, oh, those are organic kicks. Like, I'll show you like my organic bullshit. I'm gonna go pure dino.
Yeah. In that case, let me stash the mechanisms and show you pure dino terror. Which I feel like now would be a good place to mention, because I don't think we mentioned it. The title of this chapter is Brachiosnakeus. And when I read it...
Is it?
Yeah, it kind of brushed under the rug because of the hype of, like, the greatest war of all time, like, coming to Wano. But, like, when I read it on the first read-through, I was like, I don't get it. Like, that's just weird. And then we get the greatest page of One Piece to date. He gets Queen flattened, like, he's standing on all fours, and straightens out from tail to his head, his entire neck and tail. And he says, dinosaurs ruled the world for hundreds of millions of years. Witness the raw power of the king. And like he's fully straightened out. And the beast pirates are like, here we go. The true power of the ancients. And he like whips his tail upwards. He like hits the wall. And then he screams, Brachiosnakeus. And... his body stays there, but his tail to his neck, revealing a snake-like being, shoots out of the brachiosaur body. And you see Izo, Marco, Chopper, all the Yakuza. They're like, is that how it works?
This was disturbing.
This was the dumbest fucking thing. This was so good. And Sanji's screaming like, what? And he gets caught. And like Queen is wrapped like a snake, like coiling around Sanji. And he's like, haha, caught you napping. This is what a Brachiosaurus can do. And then Sanji's like, damn it, I had no idea.
Like, as if it was the most normal thing. Sanji, what the fuck?
Curses, I didn't read the Brachiosaurus chapter.
I love this. I hate it, but I love this.
And it gets even better. Like,
It's
I
so
thought it, I
good.
was like, okay, this is ridiculous, but like, this is classic One Piece. That page, hilarious. And Queen starts boasting, like, not a single person has ever escaped from the clutches of the Brachiocoilus. And they're like, Sangoro! Like, they're all, like, screaming for him, the samurai. And you see, like, this aura, like, crushing, like, Queen is, like, crushing his body. And he's like, even masters of the color of armament hockey cannot prevent broken bones and ruptured organs from this pressure. They all get taken out of commission. You're not putting up much of a fight, Judge's son. But if you promise to show me the power of Germa, I could give you a little breather. And he, like, screams, like, never! As his body's getting crushed. And then, when I got to this part, I was like, okay.
This was really good. Because we get another shot of the body remaining. And mind you, there's a hole straight through where the neck and tail is supposed to be. And Queen's just talking about just look at that. For a normal Brachiosaurus, that leftover material would be useless as legs on a snake. Hardy har har. But I'm a scientist. So I equipped brachio launchers on my torso. If I call out their name, they'll shoot right at. And he's interrupted because the fucking launchers shoot him.
And I love it. Queen is such a fucking dumbass. I love. He's like, no, I was only explaining. Like, you idiots! You're supposed to shoot when I call out brachio launchers, like an attack net. Ah! And he gets shot again.
It's so good.
Oh,
like,
God.
Queen falls down, and then Sanji's out of his clutches, and Queen's just like, oh, my chokehold still did the job. You're already dead. And Lil Chopper, he's just like, oh, Sanji, what happened to you? Are you all right? Sanji looks like motherfucking Gumby got put into a damn, like, laundry machine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. He looks like... Do you remember in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when, like, one of the cartoons gets run over by the steamroller? I think it's one of the weasels or something.
Probably, yeah.
It looks... Or no, it's the guy that killed Eddie's brother, the main villain. He gets run over by the steamroller and like, oh, we did it. We got him. And then he gets up and he's flat. And then that's the reveal that he's like, oh, he was actually a toon this whole time. Spoilers for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but...
Spoilers for, like, a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how...
Yeah, it's old. But, yeah, he looks like Gumby got put in, like, a pasta press, like... And he's like, I don't know, it hurts, but I can still move fine. Chopper's like, Sanji, you look freaky. Did you turn into a zombie? And then they're like, all of your bones are broken, Sangoro. And he literally like, clack, clack, clack. He like straightens himself out and snaps all of his bones like together.
Mind you, like before that, his legs were literally making like as if he's a Sesame Street character, the fucking letter B.
Yeah. His legs made the shape of the letter B. And he's like, oh no. I the way I read this was like with such like real like lamenting realization, like, oh no, I hope I didn't awaken latent powers like theirs. And we get a flashback of him punching Ichiji, and like it was in the flashback in Whole Cake Island, but when he was a child, he punched Ichiji and hurt his own fist on Ichiji's face because his face was like iron, like his face. He's just like, you know, like hard ass exoskeleton. And Queen gets up and he's like, stupid brat. All while Sanji's like looking at his hand like, there, I'm back. And then they're like, Sanji, behind you. And Queen swings his blade to behead Sanji. And all that happens is Sanji's head gets moved to the side as if he like got smacked, and he just says ow as Queen's blade like shatters in half. and all we get is like Queen screaming like, what? And then Sanji's like, this sucks. I don't want to be a monster like them.
This is so funny.
Oh my god, I love it. We're talking to our Discord a little bit. Like, I read this and I got so hype because, who was it on Discord? We were talking about it because they were like, like, it is super cool. Wojo Jojo, because I was like, Sanji chant currently in my room after I read this chapter. And Wojo Jojo was like, but he won't embrace it, won't use his hands. Powerless against women, denies his heritage. He could be a Yonko if he tried, at least top chef. And gosh darn him, I love him for it. But I'm like, I love this because I'm hoping, and we had kind of talked about this before, but my hope is that he embraces not the like, I hope he embraces his like power, like his sort of awoken like his sort of like awoken powers now, like his, you know, like because he put on the raid suit, like the explanation I'm assuming is that when he put on the raid suit, it like activated the dormant like powers in him. But I'm hoping that he sort of embraces this as the same way that Chopper embraced his like monster point for Luffy.
Right.
Because, like,
Yeah.
he's not using his power. Like, yes, he has Germa powers, but he's not using them for the extent of Germa. And especially with the nickname that him and Zoro got, like, the Wings of the Pirate King. Like, I hope we get a point where he denies the Vinsmoke name, but he uses the powers for his own means, which is to help Luffy become the Pirate King.
Yeah, it's still not a denial of it's not a denial of like Sanji's like personal politics. It is like
Yeah.
him like recompartmentalizing a lot of aspects of himself.
Yeah.
But
And there is oh, go ahead.
I personally don't like I think this is really funny, and I like this in the aspect that like it's like yeah, yes, it's Deus Ex Machina, and that's something I don't like about it. But what I do like is that Sanji doesn't like it. Do you feel me?
Yeah. I like the fact that he doesn't like it.
But one thing is that like I think that I disagree with you in that like he'll accept this for Luffy. I do think that he will still grapple with his like family shit and this and that to the point where like this man straight up might try to poison himself to become weaker or something.
Oh god.
To not become a fucking monster, as he says.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I could see something like that. I do think I don't know, it's weird because Sanji knows about what his mother did, Sora. Like he knows
Right.
He knows that she specifically like tried to poison the kids. Like she poisoned herself while she was pregnant with them. So that they would be born human. And the reason that like Sanji was you know, like I guess the favorite child was because like he was the humanity of Germa in a not so you know, in a not so subtle way. Like he was the final shred of humanity that family had.
Yeah.
Especially when the mother died. Which is why, you know, like he spent his life on his research, and then like when judges the love, he treated her like shit, but like the love of his life dying, and then like he pours all like, you know, he grows to resent Sanji because like, I mean, the overt reason you can read into it, which reading into the themes, you know, but it's like, okay, at least to me, I read it as like, okay, he's rejecting Sanji because he's a weakling, but also because of Sanji's humanity and he doesn't have the powers of the other ones.
And his similarity to his mother.
He is a constant reminder of his late wife. And it's like, no, like you, like when he went too far, like Judge was too far in his research and he was like, go, like, I don't care if you die. Like, you're not my son, leave. Like, you know, I have my robot kids now. But I do think it's interesting that he's awoken the powers now, but he's not just in the way Sanji is. Like he will never be, he has the monstrous strength of them, but he has his humanity, which they don't,
Right.
Which I feel like in the strangest way possible, because of his mother, like he is the perfect form of what his brothers were supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Because he still has like the feeling. Reiju barely does, but like Sanji, you know,
yeah,
Reiju still
had like she had emotions, but yeah, she had emotions, but she was like, oh, like, you know, when they like bullied her too, and then she was like, she was the oldest sister, so she tried to like, she went along with it out of fear of just getting like ostracized. Like she wanted to be like, I mean, in a shitty family like that, like it's the same thing as like the Big Mom family. Like it was, everyone looks out for themselves between her and Sanji. But I mean, you know, in the end, she helped him out and stuff, and she's the sweetest older sister. But I don't know. I like this so far. I do understand like it sort of sucks that he's just like getting this like Deus Ex Machina, which it is, but also like I'm interested to see where it goes, because I do like, especially Sanji knowing like how his brothers are, like their lack of humanity. Like I have to feel like Sanji knows that like he he will never be like them. Like, the things he hates them for is something that Sanji just as his, you know, as a living being in the world can just never be based on the way he is. Like,
Right.
He is far too kind to be anything like the Germa kids.
Yeah, and that's what like really sets him apart from them, no matter what happens, like activated almonds otherwise.
Yeah, but I do see why this is going to piss him off just on a very like he knows how he is, but his like newfound like durability, like his boost in strength is like, god damn it, like he knows he's different from them, but it's just gonna remind him like man, I'm like that stupid green Yonji now. like
Dude, one thing I do want to like bring up is that I really understand the like group of fans of One Piece that their appeal for Zoro and Sanji is that they're just guys.
Yeah.
And like this somewhat flies in the face of that, understandably so.
Yeah.
And like I really do sympathize. Like if things like continue this way with not just like Sanji, or like Zoro like is having the potential of a moment like that as well.
Yeah.
Like there's if you're reading One Piece because of like it just being like the normal guy fighting up and against like oppressors and this and that, like yes, this is somewhat disappointed. And like you have the right to be disappointed for sure.
Yeah. No, I totally, I mean, look, everybody knows I'm the podcast resident Sanji fanboy. Like, I love Sanji, and I see this and I'm getting hyped.
Guys.
Yeah, I can't help it. I see this and like I completely understand all sides of this, but I'm just hyped, dude. Mostly, okay, look, I want, if I can be selfish and just want for a minute, because when Sanji first used the raid suit in Wano, he was using the power and he was fighting Skrillex. I forget his actual name. Pei. He was fighting Payday. And he was fighting Page 1 and he's going like just toying with him, like testing out the suit. And there's a line he says that's like, oh, like I have to I should get Usopp and Frankie to help me like change the design of this suit or something like that. He says something like he wants them to help him change the suit. And I kind of hope that like this is just a giant crackpot theory that I have, but like when the raid suit was introduced, and even when they introduced the Germa, well, it goes all when they introduced the Germa. What's his face on Capone's crew was talking to Sanji because he's like a huge Germa fanboy, and he was like, "Dude, like the Germa, I used to read the comics all the time, and they used to fight Sora. Like the hero of the story was Sora of the sea or whatever, like the Navy hero Sora or something like that." And then we get the reveal that Sanji's mother was named Sora, and then when he uses the suit for the first time against Page 1, all of the people from the West Blue are like Law and X Drake and them, they're like, oh, and somebody else was there, but they're like, oh my god, like I loved the Sora of the Sea comics, like I used to love that. I hope that with going along with my idea of him like denying the German name, I hope he like revitalizes the suit and takes the name of his mother, like something like the suit, I don't know, changing the color of the suit to like white or something and be like Sora, but that would kind of go against the whole Blackleg Sanji thing. So I don't know. And it'd
also be like, because like Sora was like a Marine, there's like that aspect to it too.
Yeah. Just, I want him to make the suit his own, ultimately. That's what I want. Because there's been, like, talk of that when he used the raid suit. So I'd like him to be able to use these powers without, like, without the self-hate, you know? Like...
Yeah. He deserves to be a powerful boy, too.
Yeah. Which I think that's going to be the case. I think, like, the raid suit is going to be something that stays with Sanji. He might not use it all the time, which I wouldn't like him using it all the time, but I definitely think it's going to be something that's like he has up his sleeve. And it's like the same thing as Zoro. Like, Sanji is the raid suit and the power-up that comes with it, and Zoro, I mean, he has Enema now, but like by the end of the story, I can completely see him. By the end of the story, if they don't just straight up do it in Wano, I can see him like making one of his swords like a supreme grade, like just making it into a black blade, like just permanently. Because
Right.
he doesn't have any permanently right now. Shusui was, but it wasn't of his own doing, you know?
Man.
So, I don't know. I think the future's looking bright for these two.
It is.
I do
it
want to
is.
see. I have faith that Oda can write this power up with Sanji into a way that like will please mostly everybody. But yeah, I'm just a fanboy. I love this shit. Sanji's the best.
Hey, at least it's not Dragon Ball, baby.
No, yeah. Dude, if it was Dragon Ball, Sanji would have gotten hit. He would have turned around to hit Queen, and then Luffy would have come up and one-shot Queen. And, like, that would have been the end of the fight. Or Sanji would have killed Queen. Queen would have destroyed Onigashima, and then Whis would come and turn back time, and then Luffy would be the one to get the final blow on.
No one but Luffy could defeat any enemies. Full stop.
And that's One Piece, baby. That's we're gonna wrap it up this week.
We're
Yeah,
back
no,
next
don't forget.
week, with no chapter, but you know us. We're always around memeing, doing shit.
Yeah,
Got shit up our sleeves.
we got shit up our sleeves, up our pant sleeves, if you know what we're saying.
We're prairie dogging just a little bit.
We're prairie dogging. Paramecia, the podcast that's prairie dogging. I don't know if I like the ring of that as much as I did in my brain when it.
Actually, let's walk all this back.
Yeah.
Let's walk the whole podcast back. Let's just quit. If you want to listen to our backlog, all of that is on parameciafancast.libsyn.com or available at any podcatcher, Spotify, Google Podcast, all of them except Facebook because they keep begging and we don't want to. But if you want us to, for any reason, we will suck it up and do it.
Yeah,
Our episodes... Ooh, go ahead.
If you buck with the Zuck, let us know and we'll upload them there.
I just don't understand why they can't just take the RSS feed like everyone else.
Yeah.
But, you know, our episodes, they go up on Mondays after the weekly release. They'll go straight to our Libsyn, and then they'll go straight to your podcatchers. YouTube takes a bit longer, but it'll be like within 24
Usually within the day.
Yeah, within 24 hours of the podcast release. In the meantime, you want to meme some more? Join our Discord. We are the Paramecia Flower Capital. All those links are on all our social media. The permanent invite link is up there, and you can come join us. We got a nasty little community, but nasty in the good way.
Nasty in the best way possible. And I haven't posted it yet, but there's a long dissertation about somebody posted a meme picture of Akainu having the same Hawaiian shirt as Grandpa Tennyson from Ben 10, and I said that like no meme that could actually be legit and for real. And I haven't dropped the dissertation yet, but it's coming. I'm gonna drop it in that channel. So if you want to hear how Ben 10 and One Piece could be connected,
that'll do everything for us this week. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.